The enabling update has finally arrived, guys, and guess what? That's not the only change that's come our way. So the new enabling system has finally reached Idle Heroes. It's been long awaited, and if I'm honest, it's not quite what I was expecting. At first level of enabling, you have a choice of 3 different abilities now, rather than it just being the fixed one, which we knew as Vitality, which increased your health by 12%. Well, now you can choose that, or you can choose Attack by 8%. So you have a good choice between HP and Attack, depending on what your hero requires. This final one I find rather interesting as well. It's called Growth, and it increases your health by 5%, the attack by 3%, and your speed by 20. This is good for versatile heroes that need both HP and attack, and that speed boost can really help with CC heroes and heroes that need their abilities to go off before the opponents. At the second level of enabling, they've changed things up a bit. We have an ability called Shelter, which decreases your incoming crit damage by 15%. I can see this being one of those stats that's either really good or really bad, because crit does outright kill heroes. However, we've got a lot of abilities that come in now that do damage equal to a chunk or portion of the maximum health of your hero. So that doesn't really get affected by this, but crit damage definitely can one-shot and kill your heroes, so if a hero needs a little more survivability, and the next ability which I'm going to mention isn't quite for them, then I can see this being quite useful. However, this lethal fight back, which means that when an active skill or normal attack deals damage to an enemy with higher current HP than the hero you're using, they deal an extra 12% of all damage dealt. Now, I see this being really good for weaker heroes, not necessarily heroes with high HP. So the choice you really make here is, am I building a hero that's a little tanky and sustain built? That way you want to give them the crit defense. This one though is for heroes with lower HP who do a lot of damage and want to be more glass cannon style heroes. Heroes that come to mind for this are Jara, Faithblade, heroes like that, maybe even Amavor as well. Now, in this final enabling choice, which is for your third enabled heroes, we still have our self-heal, which is 15% of missing HP, and that's pretty substantial, and this next one really has to be good if it's going to take that away from us. Well, actually, this one's called Shared Fate, the other one we get to choose from, and it's when a round ends, each surviving hero can increase their attack by 1.2%, and this lasts for 1 round. Now, interestingly, a lot of people have said 1.2%. Well, this is for every single hero that's surviving. So this is 14.4% for the hero, assuming that all the other heroes are alive. If one's dead, that becomes 13.2%. And if another is dead, and you've only got 10 heroes on the field, then that's 12%, etc, etc, etc. But it's this bonus attack that can be really useful for heroes that want to burst on round 2, if they don't have an energy artifact, for example. So they get their active up, they're ready for round 2, they gain this boost early on, and it could do a lot of burst damage in round 2 or round 3, depending on how you build your hero. And I mean, it could be good, but is it better than healing? We'll have to see. Now, on top of the enabling changes, they've brought a few differences as well. They've given Cthugha a little buff by increasing his detonation damage from 1000% of his attack to 1500% of his attack, which is nice. It could help Cthugha be a little more bursty. Now, if we also look, they've added a new feature to Precision, which is for every 1% of Precision, your attack is increased by 0.3%. And this is actually relatively important. It means that investing in Precision gives you extra attack. So Precision is a decent stat to have in your guild tech if you're looking to completely maximize your hero. If you look at the attack stone and the attack precision stone, this, however, isn't a better choice than just going for attack. Attack precision versus attack isn't going to wield you as much attack as just going for the pure attack stone will. So don't get confused and think, oh, precision's now a stat you should chase. It isn't, but if it's available for free, you might as well take it. Now, they've also changed block. So with a successful block, the damage received is blocked by 30%, but it also blocks crit damage by 20%. So that's also interesting for seeing. And It's nice that they've just given them a little bit of a boost to help precision and block along the way. Sure, they're not the great stats that people want to chase and follow for their heroes, unless your hero specifically needs block to trigger effects, but I can see it being okay, just as little added things that we can add onto our heroes through guild tech, or maybe just little buffs that could be given by heroes who boost precision or boost block for other heroes. The final thing I'd like to talk about, which I think is the most important change that DH Games have made, is actually found within heroes themselves. They've changed the base HP of the 10-star heroes, and that's huge. Now, I've looked at all the major heroes in the game and realized things have been mixed around a bit. So the biggest changes we can see, in my opinion, first off is Char. Char used to have the lowest health of any hero in the game at a really measly 348,000 health. Well, now she's got 488,000, which still has her on the bottom end, but she's not the lowest. There are heroes like Dark Arthandol and Scary now who have actually lower health. Same goes for Rosa as well, who is still... he's lower as well. Berea. Berea is now the highest HP hero. I mean, he was already, but he still holds his seat as the highest HP on 772,000 health. And for me, I think the biggest difference is actually Faithblade. If we look at Faithblade's base health has gone up to 521,000. It used to be 372, which was only just a little bit higher than Char's. So Faithblade has had a massive buff here, in that his health pool has been hugely increased. And we can see this across a lot of heroes as well, who have had their health increased. Heroes that haven't really seen much bonus, Valentino, for example, as I mentioned before, Dark Arthandol, Scary, these heroes have only been nudged up a little bit, but every single hero has had their base health increased. So you will notice that the power levels and base power levels of your heroes will have increased, and the power level of your team has as well, but that's because they've upped the HP stat for every single hero. Finally, I'd like to talk about just the top 5 heroes, just so you know which 5 heroes have the highest health. These in order, as I mentioned before, you've got Berea, who is the highest health hero. Second now is Asmodol, who has 746,000. Then in third place is Aspen with 716,000. Fourth goes to Flamestrike, surprisingly, who has 711,000 health. And finally, comfortably at 5th place is King Barton with 685,000. So these heroes, they're all good meta heroes, but it's quite terrifying to think Aspen is the 3rd highest health hero, and he does a lot of damage anyway. And you'll notice they've added in these, HP shredding abilities, and it seems like they are fundamentally important now to the game if you want to compete. So if you don't have heroes that can rip away HP, I'm thinking Amavor, Berea, Aspen, Horus, heroes that have the ability to take away attack based off your opponent's max HP. I think it's about time you invested in those heroes, because with all the attack stats not moving and the health of all the heroes moving up, it's definitely worth investing. Now, if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe, and get in touch with me in my social media links below. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I hope the enabling changes help you with your team, and I hope you can mix things up and see which ones work best on your heroes. As always, guys, happy idling.